Welcome back, folks, on this lovely July morning. It is July 2nd, 3029, the last month of our current contract, and we have one more combat to go for this week. Central is in a stand-up with us as the defender. The Draconis Combine is sending one last push into our area, for this week at least, in order to try to drive us off the planet, apparently unaware of the fact that we are already getting the fuck out. So, good for them. In order to support us as part of their attempt to presumably start falling back, some of the heavier elements of our Lyran allies have made it to this fight. A trebuchet, which is what we're all familiar with, it's Hogsmech, and a hunchback that is being piloted by a deaf mute. It's not that bad, but it's not good. This person is just about as bad as our own dagger. A little better on piloting, but unfortunately that means that we can't really rely on that hunchback to do much for us this mission. Oh, I also remembered that I can actually expand this out, so you guys can get a good look at who is on Central, as if you didn't know right now. Although there is a new element to Central you might not have seen before, since we did downgrade it to a medium lance. We still have Zero, our crack shot Ostsal pilot, Babe, our tough gal Wolverine pilot, Twinkle Toes, you saw in action during the mission we had a little bit ago where our Marauder got savaged, unfortunately. Uh, but she managed to get some pretty good work out of her new Centurion. And Twitch, our poor guy in an urban mech who is looking to get one more fight in before this contract ends so that he can really say that, something other than I sat on the sidelines for the vast majority of this contract. Please, guys, please notice me, senpai. Uh, Koby-sama, Yamate. Anyways, so they're sending a trebuchet and a hunchback. Now, once again, they show a tradition of only sending in the heavy support when the enemy has sent in fucking nothing. The enemy sends in just a pile of vehicles. We've got a VDET standard issue that's going to have an AC5. Hetzer wheeled assault with an LRM. That means it's packing an LRM 20. Prowler multi-terrain vehicle that's just got an assortment of stuff. Can't remember what specifically. VDET with an AC2. Harasser laser platform means that it's going to be a big flying mech that's got a bunch of medium lasers on it. Skulker wheeled scout tank is going to be pretty much a fucking Humvee with a machine gun mounted on it. Not terribly impressive. Another VDET and another VDET. VDET's all over the place. It's one of the most generic medium tanks in the whole damn galaxy. Easy to produce, easy to arm, easy to crew with just a bunch of guys, and then you throw it up against a battle mech and they stomp all over them. Fun times. We're fighting them in flatlands, generally open terrain, but there's a generic town in the way. I'm actually not much against that. Uh, we've got some decent range through Zero, Babe, Twinkle Toes, and Twitch through large lasers and AC-10s. So maybe getting that town out of the way wouldn't be so bad. On the other hand, the enemy has much longer range stuff with all the AC-5s and LRMs they're packing. So we'll go ahead and accept a town. It'll block line of sight and we can generally work around that. Victory conditions are once again destroy 50% of the enemy forces while keeping more than 50% of yours operational. That means that we have to keep Leonhard Ostberg and Laura Parent here uh, alive along with one of our own, or else we have to retreat. So we've got to lose 3 mechs to be forced off the field. We have to destroy 4 vehicles to force them from the field. So let's get on the ground. There's not much to talk about this one other than mechs are going to stomp on vehicles, and let's hope that these guys don't get stupid and walk. Actually, they can walk in front of the Hetzer all they want. This one has an LRM, but don't walk in front of that uh, harasser or something. And that's that's probably not likely. They don't have great speed on them this time, and no jump jets. But let's go ahead and get on the ground and take a quick look at what exactly we're fighting, and then just get stuck in. That's actually a pretty trained shot on that harasser. That's a pretty elite crew. Oh, this vidette has even more. If only he was packing more than an AC-2. Anyway, 250-ton mechs are our allies. We've got our 60-ton Ostsal, a 50 and 55-ton, and a 30-ton. General plan for this one, the urban mech is slow, but since he's finally in a fight lance, he's not going to show up at the show up several turns later. His slowness will uh, not keep him from getting in the match like it was when he was part of a scout lance. Uh, he's got a pretty long range weapon in that AC-10, so we'll kind of keep him on par with the Centurion, who's also got an AC-10. We'll sort of keep our distance initially until we can knock out some of the more dangerous things, like probably not this Hetzer. What does this Prowler actually have? It's packing SRM-2, LRM-10, 2 medium lasers, a nice spread of weaponry. Just a nice diverse chunk of weapons, most of them in a turret mount so that it can fire anywhere. Apparently it's also got cargo. Oh, I know what this thing is. This is supposed to be a troop carrier. However, the bot doesn't ever spawn with troops, so it's just an empty APC. Pretty heavy APC, but an empty APC. The harasser is how many? 2 medium lasers, so nothing too scary. The skulker has 2 machine guns, nothing worth pooping yourself over. The really trained guy has an AC-2 VDET, which means he's packing an SRM-2, AC-2, and a machine gun. Look at that teeny little barrel. And a little pod for his AC-2. It's cute. I don't know how he got to be gunnery too. Maybe he just spent a shitload of time playing World of Tanks. In any case, let's get into the battle and go ahead and stomp all over these fools. The Draconis must be desperate if they're sending this many vehicles at us to try to convince us to leave. I mean, we were already leaving. They didn't need to convince us anymore. Have to deploy my urban mech pretty early. Everything else I get to deploy after I see most of the enemy's deployment. Let's see the map. Pretty standard for a light urban. There's just a cluster of buildings at the center blocking line of sight. Depending on where the enemy deploys, we could probably pick a side. Where did you deploy? You deployed over on this side. We could probably deploy over on this side. Just kind of push our way up to this tree cover, and then swing around here. And depending on how heavily the enemy pushes up, we can either engage them in this open terrain, or we might have to engage them in the city. Either way kind of works for us. Since the urban mech is such a slow bastard, but is pretty decently armored for a light mech. I mean, this guy is 30 tons. He's not the heaviest light mech around. That's a 35, but he's still packing enough armor to be able to block a large laser shot and still keep trucking. So that makes him pretty well suited to deal with nearly anything the enemies can throw at us, except perhaps that LRM-20. If that got lucky, that could shred him a little bit. But it would have to get really lucky to dump all that damage on one spot. So we'll put him front and center so that he can waddle his way into enemy contact faster. The Lyrans now have to deploy a bunch of their vehicles. Where do you want to go? They're putting them in the trees. Draki in the trees. Lyran allies are deploying. Hopefully they'll see my urban mech over here and get the idea that we're going down this way. They kinda did. That trebuchet is going to have trouble getting shots from there, but, you know, that's the way the bot deploys. Draconis has to deploy more. They're being really indecisive today. Deploys the Hetzer over here. That actually works for me, because that means that the Hetzer won't have great line of sight as I approach down this alley. So since the allies are in a Hunchback and a Trebuchet, Hunchback is a very heavily armored medium, and the Trebuchet is a okay one. It's not the best, but it'll work. That means that I can take advantage of the fact that they won't be immediately sniped out of existence and pretty much ignore what they're doing to instead pursue my own agenda of pushing down this side and trying to get into engagement with all of the enemy vehicles over here. Skulker deployed on in this little divot down here. Good for it. My Ostsal, one of the faster moving mechs I have. Go ahead and deploy him here, because that means he can push through these trees with his greater speed. Well, I mean, he's got 5. That's the same as most things in this group, but... like the Wolverine, for example, is just as heavy. The Ostsal will push forward and get into there. The Wolverine will probably push forward even harder. So I'll actually want the Wolverine to kind of be over here, the side that's not in cover. Because once again, Babe is going to show that Wolverines can take a beating and push up hard and attract attention. And hopefully those new edge points will do them well. And then they have to finish deploying. Ba-ba-bing, ba-bing. So, initiative phase for round 1. Our Wolverine has to go pretty early, but that's alright. Babe is designed to go forward, and everything else gets to move after the enemy does, except for that Prowler, but that's just one of the vehicles. So it looks like they are kind of crowding over here out in the open. That means that they can put a lot of fire out in this general area, but, you know, I can take a lot of fire. What in the fug? Did I miss something? Oh, there's heavy fog. Okay, that makes things a lot more fun. Well, geez, no wonder they didn't move much. Okay, something I totally didn't notice, because it's not something I can reroll, is that this map is coated in a thick layer of fog. Visibility is really bad, and that's going to super mess with our ability to take shots and move. One thing we can do to mitigate that is take risky, what is it called? Reckless moves? If we take reckless moves, we can actually move at full speed. We just have to make a pilot check. Now, with Babe, for instance, her pilot skill is 5. Okay, that means that she has only a 80% chance of messing up and falling over, I think is how it works. And honestly, it might not be a bad idea to do. But you know what? We actually don't have to worry about it much until we're engaged with the enemy. So that means that we can take a couple just really short turns, just kind of slowly waddling up to the enemy's position. So don't even fret about it. We're just going to take our sweet... Oh my god, okay. One person who might have to go hard just in order to keep up is poor Mike here. Mike might have to kind of rush it in order to keep up. Although, you know what Mike has? Mike has jump jets, and jump jets don't care about fog. So Mike is just going to be poot scooting across the map while the rest of us just walk in this heavy fog. He is literally leapfrogging along with us in... We're not going to see anyone. This is going to be kind of ridiculous, but just bear with me. Man, maybe I should get some video editing software so that I can actually, like, mess with this and make this next part go really fast, but, you know, I'm just so damn lazy. Now, it looks like the enemy is kind of moving to meet my advance, at least some of them are, and it looks like my allies are kind of joining me, so at least I've got that going for me. I'm not going to be able to see anyone for a long time, but a quick check here. Well, okay, it's not going to show me the full numbers, sadly, but we'll just go through a large round of bings, and I super hope that those bings are as quiet as I thought they were. So, yep, enemies all kind of scooting over here, but for some reason looking that way. I don't know what that's about. Zoop. 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 This is the exciting action that you come to this channel for. It's been a long, hard campaign. We've been slugging it out. It's been a bloodbath. It's been an oil bath. It's just been nasty, knock down, drag out mechs that are operating with like half of their body boiled off. Uh, Pilots burning up inside their mechs. Dudes getting melted with PPC shots and large laser shots right to their fucking head. And then we have this nice geriatric stroll across a heavily fogged map as we just kind of wave our mech arms. You can't see the gesture I just did because I don't have a face cam, but you know, as we just kind of feel our way across the battlefield and be like, are they over here? Are they over here? Oh shit, visibility is fucking nothing. Why did we decide to fight like this? Why couldn't we re-roll this? Well, the fog was happening all day. You can't re-roll the weather. You can kind of pick where to fight, when to fight, to some degree. But, you know, when the Weather Channel says that it's going to be heavily foggy all day across the entire planet, what can you fucking do? That's the kind of shithole planet we're dealing with. Uh-oh. Looks like an enemy vedette actually has range on us. Fired a shot in anger. Now, he needed 9 to hit, and needed 9 to hit despite the fact that we only moved 2 spaces. But that does mean that they can start taking shots at us with their slightly better range. So that means that we probably need to stop poot scooting about and actually take some risky moves in order to be able to advance on the enemy. Now, our initiative wasn't great this turn, but we'll make do with it. We do need to move our Wolverine flat out. And in that case, let's take a quick look at the risks involved in actually going reckless. So if we actually go reckless, that means that we would be able to charge up pretty damn fast. We would be able to get that harasser within our short, large laser range, which may be what we need to do to be able to actually hit him. He would be at medium range for his small lasers, and, well, actually, that depends on where he moves, because we have to move first. But I say, let's go ahead, threaten him with the Wolverine, put the fear of us into him, although, actually, I only need to move 7 hexes, if I remember correctly, for the 3. So let's actually just back up a little bit, and not go so far in deep, but this should be enough. Now, we're going to need 6. 6 is a 72% chance, so that means roughly a 30% chance of messing up and falling over. If we do mess up and fall over, she can pick herself back up and then just jump jet. Oh, jump jets. What am I doing? Okay, hang on. Rather than running recklessly with the Wolverine for no good reason, let's just jump jet forward. We won't get as far, but we'll move up much faster. And that allows us to take very reliable moves that won't fall on our ass. Now, unfortunately, the Centurion does not have that option and is also slow as balls. So, for Twinkle Toes, I'm afraid she's just going to have to take the risk in order to keep up with what's happening. So let's go ahead, go reckless, and go wild. She's going to need 2 different checks for some reason, but both of them are at 4s, and that's like a 91% chance to happen. So only 2 9% failure rates. I bet that she can do that. I bet that she can do that. Absolutely. Put faith in Twinkle Toes, and Twinkle Toes will make sure that that faith is reciprocated. Now, the urban mech. I could go reckless with him, but that would only get me the same amount of movement as jump jetting. So I'm just going to jump jet him into these woods. The Ostsal has to go reckless to keep up, but the good news is that the Ostsal has 0. 0 is an excellent pilot. Piloting 3 means that he should be able to make this check to run through these woods pretty easily. Now, that will put him kinda close to this harasser, which I don't think I want him that close. Maybe if I just kind of scoot past the woods, that will get me close enough to get some laser shots on target. Kind of depends on where the enemy goes, because all the guys that I can see right now have an option to kind of scoot out of my way, and may do so since I've kind of got a lot of lasers that can go down this field. But let's just see. Let's just see. Anyway, two threes. Threes are like a 97% chance of happening, so only 3% will fuck me over. Yeah, no, we are fine. Need to make piloting checks while moving recklessly. Uh, don't know why we need to make two, but maybe it's because of the woods? In any case, that harasser decided to go straight out. It's feeling brave, and unfortunately, that may be a bad decision. Now, that heavy fog only is giving us -1 to hit, even though it's fucking with our movement so bad. Maybe that has something to do with the ranges that it's at. We could take a large laser at a vedette, but that's going to be an even worse shot. So honestly, we're going to dump everything we have on this harasser this turn. And if it's still around, I'm going to be slightly upset, but I'll kind of understand. So, oh, fun facts, the medium fog does not bother missiles, just lasers. I guess that makes sense. Well, that means we're going to have a lot more accurate shots on all of our guys that didn't jump jet. I'm pretty happy about that one. Not going to bother with the large laser. Too much heat for too little gain. The Centurion over here also isn't bothered by the fog. I guess the problem is that so mechs do have rudimentary like heat-seeking sensors. Uh, so I guess the harasser is like giving off enough heat that they can see that through the fog. It's just you can't see the ground through it. So it makes it difficult to pilot and know that you're not like going to be running into a pothole or anything. In the meantime, we've got a decent AC-10 shot and can follow it up with, I don't want to take that LRM-10 shot, but we can follow it up with a medium laser shot that's also pretty decent. So hopefully that'll smack him. Our AC-10 from our urban mech is just within short range, so even though we jumped, that means that we've got an okay shot. We'll go ahead and take it. And lastly, my Ostsal is packing only lasers, but Zero is such a boss when it comes to shooting lasers that he doesn't care about the heavy fog penalties. Let's just put both of his large lasers on the target and hope that that's enough to razzle-dazzle him out of existence. So let's see what happens. So, our very first shot actually took the thing in the side, broke its fans, and rendered it immobile. We missed a lot of shots after that, but Zero was already zeroing in on the thing, zapped it right in the turret, and managed, I guess that harasser laser platform was super lightly armored, because 8 damage was enough to hit it in the turret and destroy it. And destroying its turret, I guess, destroyed the whole thing. Usually you can, like, turret a thing and that doesn't actually destroy the whole thing, I thought. Maybe it does. I don't know. Point is, that's 1 out of 4 that we've already got down. Now, because our Lyran allies are trudging slowly through the fog, they're not going to assist, but we don't really need their help. But this does mean that a lot of these enemies have just kind of started hiding. Well, as long as they're hiding, let's go ahead and just keep creeping up on them. When we actually start to turn this corner, I will give a concern to running up on them again. But for right now, it looks like, well, okay, this guy is going to be within potential range of my large laser. If I just kind of scoot here, he'll be within medium. He'll have AC-5 shots on me, but I'll have large laser shots back on him. Not medium laser, though. If I moved 1 more, I could take some very bad medium laser shots. Let's instead just move up like this. Take the large laser shots that will large laser shot will have. It won't be a great shot because of the fog penalties and everything else. Well, this guy flanked 2, so there's no penalty there. We're at medium range, +2. We'll walk, +1, so total of +3. Uh, our gunnery skill on uh, Babe is 4. So we're looking at 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, 1 for the fog. So 8s. 8s are a 41% chance. That's not awful. If we ran, we would be no better on, we would actually be on 9s, so a 27% chance. That would reduce our chance to hit significantly. So I think I'll just do this. The Centurion should be in pretty much the same shape if we can get eyes on. And the Centurion has to run to get eyes on, so we'll do that. Our turn to fire. My Ostsal unfortunately can't see it. My Urban Mech can't see it. This might be one of the few times I consider knocking over buildings, but I'm just too much of a damn professional. My Wolverine can see it, and what do you look, I can count numbers. And over here, I didn't count this at all, but the numbers still turned out in my favor. Am I within medium laser? Yeah, I am. Let's go ahead and take it. There's literally no reason not to. I mean, it doesn't use up ammo. It's heat that I already have. I mean, it gains me a little more heat over my max, but F it. F it, F it. So, the Hetzer actually looks like it's got range on me. It must be firing indirectly because I definitely don't remember that being seen. So someone must have spotted for it, and it's indirectly firing at my Ostsal. Manages to miss both shots. The one vidette that we're staring down, the videttes of this campaign continue to be unerringly accurate and pops me right in my left leg, but the Wolverine can take that and more. In return, my Wolverine zaps it right on its front armor. It's got 12 remaining. My Centurion pops it with its AC-10. That also hits it on its front armor and has a chance for motive system damage and doesn't, but that's fine. And then the LRM-10 slaps it in its front armor, which actually is into internal structure, hitting the driver and injuring him. That's going to super slow down their movement. And a through armor critical on the turret jams their turret, so it can't turn. So that sucker got badly fucked up. His front armor is a gaping hole that's just waiting for any kind of weapon to shut it down. So he either has to retreat or face grisly demise. Pretty good initiatives. Our Centurion has to go before some of the enemies, but moves after 4 of them already have to move, so... And 4 of them pretty much moved over here to flee like cowards. The Skulker is hiding here. I won't be able to see it unless I push up hard, and so I think I may take another semi-risky maneuver to just move up recklessly and be able to put eyes on the enemy. If I just kind of reckless up to here, let's say up to here, that would be my full move. That's 4 squares, so that's going to be 4 hexes, so that's going to be -2 to hit me, I think. At least -1. If I were to torso twist at that point, just to simulate it, I would be able to get my AC-10 on the Skulker, and that's going to be an easy kill. If I moved a little more, I'd still be able to, actually. That would move me 5, and that definitely would be worth the -2. So, let's go ahead. I could charge something? Yeah, no, that's just an open button. Don't worry about that. Charging is something I did a lot the last campaign. I don't really have as many good melee mechs this time around to do it with. But someday in the future, I might. In the meantime, if we move 5, we'll still be in good range of that Skulker once we torso twist. And that will also put me at a speed that will make it difficult to hit me. which will be good because I'm actually going to be exposing myself a fair bit right now. Turn a little just to make sure that it's extra hard to flank me. Need a 4. That's going to be 91%. Go. Excellent work. Excellent work. I'm actually going to need Mike and his urban mech to hurry the fuck up this turn. So guess what you get to do? That gains me 1 extra hex. You slow piece of shit. I am fucking serious. This urban mech nonsense. Well, we can jump here, and that means we'll be able to threaten the VDET, and so it'll either have to move out of the way or run the risk of being destroyed by an urban mech. My Wolverine is in a similar situation. It really needs to move up fast, and I think we need to move up faster than my jump jets will allow. On the other hand, the penalties that Wolverines have to piloting make it so that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Honestly, we won't be able to get eyes on the Skulker, but we'll get eyes on a lot of other things. And that's not a bad turn of events. Actually, if we jump here, we've got eyes on everything. So yeah, just jump there. The VDET is crippled and withdrawing. However, it withdrew by just backing up 1 hex because of the fog. So we can still finalize that bastard easily. We may even leave it to the urban mech, just for laughs. Our Ostsal is going to also go reckless with the intention of being able to put eyes on the Skulker and VDET over here. In fact, if I make you move recklessly, can you, in fact, move up into a position to allow you to utilize your excellent piloting skills to kick one of these tanks should one of them survive? I bet you can. I'm going to gamble on you can. Haha, look at that sick bitch. Running and turning on pavement, moving recklessly. He doesn't care. He's fucking Zero Ueda. He is the coolest cat left with a mech in this fucking company. He is going to show all of you just how cool he is. Now, damage-wise, let's take a quick look at this Skulker. The Skulker has a surprising amount of armor on its sides, but vehicles have a unique thing. Mechs are limited in how much armor they can put on based on the critical, how much critical, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like critical hit points, really. You see these 2 here? You have an amount of critical hits, like critical hit points in an area, based entirely on your tonnage. So the fact that this Skulker is a 20-ton mech means that it only has 2 in each slot. Normally a mech is restricted on how much armor it can mount on a place based on its criticals. So, like, that's why you don't have light mechs that can just say, fuck having weapons, I have as much armor as an Atlas poured onto me. I dedicated, of my 30 tons, 20 tons to armor. Fuck you, I am a giant walking brick. There's a limit on it, so unfortunately you can't do that. Vehicles do not have that limit, or at the very least their limit is much higher. So you can have stuff like this where it's just got thick slabs of armor and then cardboard for its internal. As such, we can't really underestimate how much damage we'd need to knock out that Skulker. Yeah, it's got just as much armor as its side as this VDET tank does. So that said, probably the thing to do, we've got side shots on the VDET with the Wolverine and the Centurion. If we take those side shots on the VDET, leave the Ostsal to side shot the Skulker, and then just whichever of them is weakest or still alive, Zero will kick. That sounds like a pretty good distribution of fuck you to me. So that's how I'm going to roll it. So let's put shots on this VDET, pretty accurate shots. I'm proud of you. LRM-10, still pretty accurate, but we'll first take this medium laser, not as accurate, but acceptable. That's going to overheat you by 4, but we can manage that heat since so few of your weapons actually generate a huge amount of heat. We'll just take the shot for this turn and then hope for the best. Meanwhile, the urban mech, I said you were going to shoot at this guy, and I meant it. You are not going to have a great chance to hit him, but he's not going to be able to easily escape his fate. So we can just kind of peck at him while we focus on two things that are much more likely to dish out damage to us. So poomp, and good luck on that hitting. We're going to take the shots that I declared for this. We're going to take it a little easy since we build up 5 heat with our jumping. Medium laser, SRM4 brings us up to... Oh, right. I forgot how well balanced this model of the Wolverine is. Now, taking a quick look back, our medium shots on this guy weren't great. They're much better on this Skulker. So in that case, it might behoove us to instead take a large laser shot and this SRM6 to crit seek, because I do still think that any shot that we land on the side, although, but it's going to be 9 for this one, that's at least a 27% shot. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know what my plan was, but plans change. Plans have to change. You have to look at battlefield situations, because we are much more likely to actually land shots on this Skulker than we are to land shots on this Hetzer, or on this Vedette, and shots that land are way more valuable than shots that don't, even if the shots that don't would be against something much more vulnerable. So let's instead take those shots at front and hope that that can land a couple good shots, maybe track him, maybe knock out his machine guns. Whatever it does, it'll still be good. Over here, Zero's got his pick. Both of them he's got 6s on. Both of them he's at kinda side arc to. Really, and since we kind of had to spread the damage out, really it's a matter of, let's take our shots at the one that's slightly more dangerous. The Vedette is slightly more dangerous than the Skulker just because of the weapons it's mounting. So let's go ahead and pour. Since we're at close range, let's say... Now, interesting options, actually. Can you... Butt lasers! Oh boy, butt lasers. Okay, so this is going to be slightly hilarious. We're going to overheat a little bit, I think, but we can fire a medium laser and a medium laser into the side of this guy, followed by... not a great shot because of the secondary target modifier and the fact that it's a butt laser, but we can fire our butt laser and butt laser at this guy and still just put more shots on target. So let's see if Zero can go for a twofer. I think that'd be hilarious. How do we go? How do we do? So the Prowler fires an LRM-10 at us, misses entirely. The Skulker is machine gunning down the right and left torsos of my Ostsal, but I just can't care. The Hetzer manages to miss again. I am super fine with that. So close, too. Maybe my luck's finally turning. Our Centurion does slap that Vedette on the side, manages to do some minor damage, which isn't going to matter as much, but it's still something. Strips some armor off of his side. Procs a through armor critical on his left side, but has no effect. His LRM-10 has 6 missiles hit, dealing another through armor critical that doesn't do anything, but the left side through armor critical actually manages to immobilize the engine. Pop. That Vedette is dead. Or at the very least, they'll have to abandon it. Enemy Vedette that we just disabled fires at the Ostsal with everything it's got, manages to land its machine gun and 2 SRMs. That's, 6 more damage, but it's spread out. Urban Mech misses its target. Whatever, dude. Wolverine slaps the large laser onto that Skulker. Good work. The Ostsal... Well, that Vedette that we just disabled is unfortunately hit by a fuel tank explosion by Zero, who keeps zeroing in on things just after they're already disabled. But that's alright. He destroys that, blows it up. It and the crew are all fucking dead. And the butt lasers unfortunately miss, but we weren't really counting on those. But that's one more vehicle down, which means that our target of who to kick is really easy. Crunch. And we half the move of the Skulker wheeled scout tank. So that thing is not going to be able to escape. It's effectively under my spell. So, excellent work. We are pretty neutral on heat except for the Centurion, who built up a lot to fire everything, but we can deal. Urban Mech rolls poorly, but he's just going to be boot scooting up. We are 2 out of 4 down. Most of the enemies have to move, and then my Ostsal has to, and then everyone else moves. So, pretty good deal. We are boot scooting our Urban Mech because he'd only be able to get one more hex if he was going all out anyway. Although that said, maybe he only needs to move not jumping, but normal walking. Normal walking will put that guy at the same medium range, even if he moves back one, and will penalize me far less. So let's just slowly scoot up. He moved 1 hex back, so we should still be in range with him with the Urban Mech. The Skulker has to sit tight because it's taken too much damage on its movement. Actually, it's still got 4 movement left, so I don't really know what it was thinking with doing that. Maybe it just thought I would ignore it, and it's not entirely wrong. I do have better places to put my laser. For example, by stomping over here, zapping this VDET in the side, and then stepping on this one. That seems like it could be a pretty fun time. Let's go Reckless again, and just kind of walk over onto this VDET. We will be able to be seen by that Hetzer, but I don't think that we'll be within his sweet spot range for that LRM for the 2 LRM-15s. Yeah, we're not in his sweet spot range. Where he'll be at a -2 to hit us, just as if we were at medium, our current range. And we'll be moving several hexes, so we'll at least be at a -1 to hit us. Not to mention, he's a pretty good shot. He's just had been firing indirectly. So actually, that is a thought. Maybe rather than picking on those vedettes, I would be much better off actually moving to gun down this Hetzer. After all, those 2 LRM-15s could potentially do up to 30 damage. Now, it would have to get super, super lucky for all of those to hit, but we've seen luckier things. Actually, I don't think we have yet. I mean, it would be crazy lucky. Lots of 12s. But we can push up on him pretty hard. We wouldn't be able to get in within kicking range, but we'd be able to get within range that it would be difficult for him to turn to pop us. Or it would be difficult for him to shoot us because we're at such close range, whereas we would be at extra close range for zapping him, and we've got butt lasers to fire at guys back. Sorry, we've got butt lasers to fire at guys in our back arcs. So I think I'll do that. Yeah, you can do it. Zoop. That Vedette lost resolve and is trying to flee. Don't worry, I'm not after you. I'm after this Hetzer. My Centurion, I can try to stomp up to finalize this Vedette. Does it actually have, like, a useful weapon left? It actually does. I don't know why it's withdrawing. I guess just because its armor is so fugged. Let's not ignore that too long. Even though the Urban Mech is supposed to be taking care of it. And that's the only thing the Urban Mech can see. Let's put ourselves into a position. I'm gonna run you. Or walk you or something. Yeah, run you up next to this VDET so that even if we don't finalize you with the Urban Mech, although actually the best place for that would be a reckless move right on top of you because your front is the exposed one. Just a quick check to make sure that that doesn't put me in. That would put me in a sweet spot range for that Hetzer. That's not great, unfortunately. I don't want to expose myself by getting over ambitious. What if instead we play it a little safer? We go reckless, but we go reckless to move into this terrain that the Hetzer can't see. And then just turn here. If I remember correctly, that should still put me at, let's see here. If I'm like here, turn here. What's that? Yeah, that should put me within short range for my AC-10, and I can still do some good work. So we'll go ahead, move up. Was it here? Or was it that the Hetzer couldn't see? Is it actually anywhere? Was I mistaken? Oh, it's up here that the Hetzer can't see. If I were to turn... Yeah, that's still within the right range, so... Go reckless. Move for this cover. Point front, sort of towards enemy. You need a 4. Go for it. Good work. Excellent work. Wolverine, I also kind of don't want you to be too much in that. You know what? No, you can take a Hetzer shot like that. That is partially your job. That said, can I reckless you on top of this VDET? I absolutely can. That, I think, is what I'm going to do. It's a tough pilot check for you, but if you make it, you'll be fine. If not, you will fall and skid, but you'll still be pretty okay. So go for it. Haha. Excellent work, babe. You managed to get all of the checks that we need, some of them a little close, but, you know, getting close and still managing to not fail is kind of our specialty, apparently. So let's go ahead. We'll take the urban mech against this VDET. The Wolverine is not going to fire on this VDET. It is just a follow-up, just in case the urban mech misses this shot, which he definitely could, but, you know, this is your assignment. The Ostsol was going to twist in order to put some fire on this Hetzer to the order of, although actually we don't need to twist to do that. We've still got him, and then we've got butt lasers that can also help to finalize this thing, just in case the urban mech can't. Although alternatively, how much side armor does this Hetzer have? Probably a shitload. Yeah, a shitload. We actually need to reserve a lot of our heat for trying to boil through this Hetzer's side armor. So let's go ahead and twist on target for him. And we'll put the large laser on him. 2 mediums would put me at exactly 16. That would be good. I could go 8 over to fire nearly everything. And 8 over on the heat scale is +1 modifier to fire. It'll mess up my shooting for next turn, but this is an ideal position that I'm in right now. More shots is more chances to actually put this Hetzer out of commission, and I think that's going to be worthwhile for this turn. We'll go 8 over. We'll have to deal with that and probably moderate our shots next turn. But for right now, alpha-ing a little bit to take that sucker out is going to be worthwhile. Centurion over here. Actually, now that I think about it, I almost forgot about this Skulker. Let's not forget about this Skulker, and instead fire some shots at him. Here's an AC-10 and a medium laser for you. Thank you for playing. Can I get that LRM-10 on anyone worthwhile? I could, but it would turn him into the primary target. Fuck it. Besides, that helps cool me back down. For people who are going to get targeted instead, a quick twist it'll take shots on my side, but this VDET is just out of my sweet spot. But I think it's still worthwhile. We'll go ahead and take a large laser on him. And then let's just use the SRM-6. That'll put me 1 over heat, and then I can save the rest for next turn. So what do we do? Haha! Good work, Twitch. So the VDET fires at my Wolverine at point blank range and misses. Or maybe this is a different VDET. Not sure. No, that's the same VDET. It's not got a number next to it. Twitch manages to land that shot right where it needs to go, straight up the center into the VDET's damaged area, and destroys it. Scratch one tank and one extra kill for Twitch. Good work, Twitch. Prowler firing LRM-10 at the Wolverine. That's okay. Wolverine can take it. Pow pow. Two LRM-10 8 missiles hit. Hetzer finally manages to land an LRM-15 on the Wolverine. That's fine. Wolverine can take it, but it is taking a lot of heat on its right arm. That's starting to get a little sensitive. Skulker shoots at my Centurion. Oh, that VDET that we just blew up takes a shot at my rear armor on my Ostsal. Pops the rear armor. Unfortunately, the Ostsal does not have great rear armor despite having butt lasers, and is into internal structure, but we can fix that next turn. That's not a problem. Shots on the shots on the Hetzer did not really turn up much despite the great shots we had, unfortunately. A 6 is roughly 72%, so I guess this is unusual, but not completely unbelievable. Our VDET, enemy VDET, also fires at our Ostsal but misses. Our Centurion manages to land misses another 6 on the Skulker. That's sad, but managed to hit with a medium laser, so that's at least something. And our Wolverine misses both their shots. Not a great showing, especially right here. Unfortunately, we took more than 20 damage and thus fall, taking some damage to our rear torso. But Babe is tough as hell and doesn't want to take a single point of damage. She seatbelted herself significantly. So she's prone, but, no one's around to kick her, so she'll be able to get back up and get kicking. Thankfully, she didn't need to be kicking because her target that she was going to kick was already taken out. So good work there, Twitch. Half the enemy needs to move before most of my company and the Wolverine moves last. At least I guess that means I get to pick where she stands up to. We'll get to see where the Prowler and the Skulker go first, so let's see where they go. Skulker stays right where it is. Prowler stays right where it is. The Ostsal has to move before the Hetzer, which isn't a great situation. What I can kind of do, though, is continue moving recklessly in order to try to prevent the enemy from being able to hit my now kind of exposed back. By taking a wide spin around, we'll be on the Hetzer's butt. The Hetzer can spin around and shoot at us at close range, but it doesn't have a lot of accuracy at really close range. Meanwhile, we'll get shots on its butt. So let's do that. Yeah, you can do it. Whoop. We'll also be able to kick its butt. I'm saying butt a lot today. It's kind of unnerving. Keep on jumping forward. I don't know if there's anywhere you can particularly jump to. Actually, if you jump here, you'll be able to get eyes on that Skulker, and you can help out over there. Our allies are still slowly trudging into battle. The Centurion, I'm thinking that we'll probably want our Wolverine to kind of stand up and see if she can't take out that Skulker. So the Centurion, on the other hand, if we moved over to these vedettes, they'd probably be able to move in ways that would get shots on my rear, and I don't want that. Instead, I would really prefer if we could, actually even without moving recklessly, because I don't think turning costs extra. Yeah, without moving recklessly, just kind of moving into this position and turning, we'll be able to torso twist to get shots on that Skulker. As for you, you need to get up and present that side to the enemy, because that Hetzer is coming for you. Unfortunately, it moved, so I'm not going to be able to kick its butt. That's sad. But once you get up, if you scoot forward one, you'll be within the short range for that Hetzer and not present your butt to it. So let's try that. Get up. Good work. Good work. You got up just fine. Okay, we don't have rear kicks on that Hetzer, but we do have rear shots on it. So we overheated a lot last turn. We'll have to take it a little easier this turn. So we'll torso twist, just to make sure that we are getting everything in our arc. I could take side shots on this Prowler instead, but I think I'll take the butt shots on the Hetzer. I think that that's more likely to yield some results. Wait, actually, we're not getting butt shots on the Hetzer. The Hetzer turned around. I just now noticed that. It's kind of hard to tell. The Hetzer all has the same shape no matter which way it points. Well, in that case, a large laser would put me 2 over, then a medium would put me 5 over. 5 is going to be movement penalties, but we can deal with that. Alternatively, I could put 2 medium lasers on it and be heat neutral. I think this is going to be a heat eco round, so let's put 2 medium lasers on, instead of on the Hetzer, since it turned to face me with its front and it's hard to crit it from the front, we'll put those 2 on the Prowler on its side and see if we can't score ourselves some tracking there. So we'll put a medium laser and a medium laser on its side and see if we can't get some good crits. Meanwhile, the Urban Mech over here has an AC-10 shot and can land it on the Skulker over here, on its side even, so take the shot. The Centurion over here, I wanted it to do the twist and contribute to that particular firefight, shooting on its other side with an AC-10 and a medium laser. The Wolverine does have butt shots on both this Vedette and this Hetzer. Of the 2, the Hetzer is the one that I want more dead. So give it a large laser up the behind, and give it an SRM-6 up the behind. And do I want to throw out a medium laser? Put me 4 over? I think yes. I think that that's fine. So let's instead do large laser, medium laser, SRM-6 for crit seeking. Let's go. How do we do? Prowler keeps firing on my Wolverine. Not surprising, but the Wolverine is capable of taking it. Medium laser misses, SRM-2, LRM-10 misses. The Skulker is machine gunning at my Centurion. Unfortunately, Twinkle Toes did not have enough to purchase that fucking edge, so a through armor critical puts some damage on an LRM-10 and a heatsink, but does not actually do enough damage to, does not actually hit anything super sensitive. We can replace a heatsink, we can even replace an LRM-10. We're going to get, we've got plenty of them sitting in the base inside vehicles to strip out. So those are completely recoverable criticals. I am super glad none of that hit some of her ammo bins. I'll take that kind of damage any day. Sorry, mild heart attack. Ostsol unfortunately misses its first shot. Missing a lot of shots today, Zero. You need to take a rest. But the other medium laser hits, but doesn't proc any sort of damage. Doesn't proc any sort of crits. Urban Mech misses. Sad. But, it'll miss half of the 7s it makes, or more, from experience. However, we're nailing the 6s and 7s that off of our Centurion, but unfortunately not tracking anything. But 2 shots to the right side means that a swift kick would probably put this thing in the ground. Vedette fires at our Ostsol and misses. I'm down with that. Vedette fires at my Wolverine, hits but straight on the center torso. It's got plenty of armor. Armor's holding, but it is starting to weaken a bit. Taken a lot of fire on the Wolverine, but that's partly the plan. Hetzer tried to fire at point-blank range and missed entirely. Fuck you. And our Wolverine manages to butt hit the Hetzer, deals a motive system damage with a +3 bonus, and halves its movement. I think it already got a half movement, so it must be going pretty slow right now. Unfortunately, we missed with the crit seeker, so that could have gone a little better, but it's still fine. Over here, I guess we can't. No, we didn't move enough to kick it, and we can't punch it because it's too low. So unfortunately, we're not going to kick the building. We are more professional than that. Yeah, we're in yellow on the Wolverine's armor. It might be getting punched a little more than I anticipated. Wolverine's at 4 heat. Everyone else is roughly heat neutral. Decent initiatives this time. We'll have to move the urban mech early, but everything else we see where the enemy moves. That's excellent. Because the urban mech's movement just really doesn't matter that much. We're just gonna scoot him forward. Let's see here. The Hetzer is still pointing at me. How can I take advantage of that? Well, if the Hetzer is pointing at me, in order to not be seen by the Hetzer, one thing I can totally do is just kind of take another reckless move and just walk on top of it. That means I won't be able to put lasers on the Hetzer, but it means that I can move. Let's see here. I'll be facing this way, turn this way, and either I can stomp on the Hetzer, or I can kick at this Prowler. General lasers would be going out at this... I guess the Prowler? Yeah, general lasers going out at this Prowler, trying to knock it down. Butt shots on the Hetzer from my Wolverine. If we take out the Hetzer, I can then kick this. If we don't take out the Hetzer, I can kick it. Win-win. So, let's move in. Excellent work. This Skulker kind of scooted off to the side. I don't really care that much, so I can just kind of keep maneuvering off to the side in the fog, not have to proc any dangerous checks. And just get in position to kick it and shoot it. VDET moved up on my Wolverine, probably to come do some damage on it. Don't particularly care. Hang on, let me quickly check the side that is getting shot on. It's a little weaker on its right side than on its left side, arm-wise, but its sword to torso is still fine. You don't have anything in your arms, well, your right arm does have some of your weapons. That is kind of sensitive. That AC2, however, is at penalties from how close it is. But the AC2, if it hits on your right arm, can penetrate into critical, can do some critical damage there. But I'm right now in the rear arc on that Hetzer, and I'm sort of hesitant to give that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to risk a little bit of heat overage this turn. I'm already 4 over, though. That's not great, but no, I think I'm going to risk it in order to jump right behind the Hetzer. I'll gain 3 that way. Turn that way. Don't know why it's trying to move me in the water. I don't want that. That puts the VDET still on my right side. That doesn't actually solve any of the problems of the VDET, come to think of it, but the only other way to solve that problem would be to expose my butt, and I definitely don't want to do that. But that will give me excellent close-range shots. In fact, actually, best way to do that, 1, 2, 3, would be... Can I just get even walking over here and a turn? Well, that still puts it solidly on my side, but that means I'm at far less penalty, don't build us up much heat. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that move. It exposes me to that VDET a bit, but hopefully, it'll hit me on my left torso, my arm, somewhere, or my leg or somewhere, and even if it hits my arm, it possibly won't crit. So this guy has shooting 4. He's not the most accurate in the world, so let's see here. Could shoot at the Skulker, but the Centurion is going to be hitting it on its right side. How's its right armor looking? Right armor looks pretty fucked up. So instead, a better shot might be on this VDET in order to hit it in its ass and maybe disable it with a lucky shot. That's going to be not as accurate as the shot I'd take on the Skulker, but I think it's a better distribution of our firepower. Look at you, you're just hiding. That's fine, I understand, Lyran's, you're fucking making me fight your battles and destroying light mechs so that you can blame it on me. I don't know. Anyway, pop that. Over here, our plans was to lay the razzle dazzle onto this prowler. We've got plenty of heat to do it with, so we can give them the large laser. We could then give them 2 mediums for neutral, or everything for 8 over like we were before. I think this is another one of those ideal situations to just lay the fire down and hope that we roll slightly better than we did last time. So we'll give them both large lasers, give them both medium lasers. We're going to be at 8 heat over again, but I think that we can still manage that. Zaps out. The Centurion is focusing on the Skulker with its AC-10. Unfortunately, its LRM-10 has been knocked out of the fight, but we didn't really need it. We also lost a heat sink, but didn't really need that. Why do we only have 10 heat sinks, including one that's in our torso? Aren't you supposed to have by default 10? Oh, right, never mind. You can have up to 10 sinks mounted in the engine if it's of a certain weight. The Centurion has such an underweighted engine that it can't actually fit all its heat sinks. Fun fact. Anyway, let's try to take out that Skulker. And the Wolverine over here is giving its all, pushing out a medium laser, and an SRM-6. Heats it up a little bit, but should generate some excellent hits if we can actually land them on target. So let's see what happens. Skulker machine guns my Centurion. We're fine. VDET unfortunately hit the one damn thing I asked it not to, and, well, it's into internal structure, it's a critical hit that deals 1 damage, and it knocks out a medium laser. Of all the things that could be knocked out, I can survive that the easiest. I have a pile of medium lasers that I'm not doing anything with back at base, so we can replace that easy. It's just, you know, sometimes these dice seem to have a laser focus. It's kind of weird. I point out, well, this is the one thing that's happened, but it'd have to do this and this and this and this, and then it does that. Well, fuck you. VDET hits my Wolverine on the center torso. Starting to take a little more damage than I really like. I may need to jump jet her like behind those trees so that she doesn't take as much hits anymore, because it's starting to get a little dangerous. Prowler misses entirely the shots at the Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine just didn't move much is unfortunately the truth, so she's kind of a target. Urban Mech fired at that VDET, did not hit. Fuck you. Work better. Ostsol, well, most of these lasers hit, so that's pretty excellent. Zaps the Prowler, motive system damage. Zaps it. It's just stripping off armor. And our friendly Trebuchet somehow gets a shot on the Skulker and destroys it, so you destroy the thing that I've already spent several turns working on. Fuck you. Fuck you out loud. That was my kill, you bitch. Well, blows it the fuck up and injures its commander. That's hilarious, but that was largely unnecessary, you fuckwit. Whatever, that's his weapons fire. He wanted to actually contribute, so he did something. Our Centurion then keeps pummeling its corpse. The Hetzer, unfortunately, just did not take much of a hit, so we can follow up with a kick on it. And hopefully do something nice. The Centurion can kick buildings. We're down 3 enemies. No, we're down 4, actually. Actually, good catch. We are down 4 enemies, so that means we are at /victory. We get 1 more kick at this Hetzer, and then they putter home. Who knows? Maybe we can disable it. Let's see. We crunch it in the side and do some extra damage, but it's going to putter home. But this is another victory. I keep saying that those Wolverines can take shots, and they definitely can. Look at all that all the hits that she was able to take. but I may be overestimating how much they should take hits. She did take some pretty severe damage on her this turn, but luckily no damage that's not repairable. We can recover all of that, but I need to be a little less crazy. Also, hopefully now Twinkle Toes has enough XP to pick up Edge, because Jesus, it's just fucking frustrating how often that's happening to me. Anyway, weight of numbers does tell true, but for right now, we're done with this week. I've got a little bit of time to repair up. It's currently Thursday, so I've got several days of fixing and recovering and all of that good shit. And hopefully, we'll be ready for next week, which should be the last week of our contract. I'll see you then. Or actually, it may just be a post contract op video. You'll see. See ya.